Hey everybody, how you doing today? You can't tell me, but I'm just going to assume that the answer is positive because what has happened right now is that you have tuned in to Six Questions with Dan and Michelle. And hi Michelle,
Hi, Dan.
how you doing? How you doing there in that jungle that you're
The jungle
developing?
is looking fabulous over here.
I have noticed that.
Yeah, I'm very excited.
Yeah,
Soon,
it's
I
like
think
it's
my whole house will just be plants. It
you've
will
got
be,
like your own wilderness
yeah.
that's kind of happening
My
there.
brother told me he's gonna buy me a toucan.
Like from the Fruit Loops commercial, like Toucan Sam.
That's exactly right. And that's what I said too. I had asked, I wonder if it would eat Fruit Loops.
Um, of course it would. That's the only
Possibly.
reason toucans exist is to
I
eat
would
Fruit Loops.
imagine so. I'm very excited to bring my jungle together.
Speaking of eating things, that brings us to today's guest. And today's guest is from Taziki's Mediterranean Cafe, Jeff Wilkins. Hello,
Woo.
Jeff.
Hello, Dan. Hello, Michelle.
I want you guys to know who Jeff is because especially those of you who are in Metro Detroit, you're gonna love this. Um, Jeff and his wife Lisa have established the first location of Taziki's Mediterranean Cafe in Metro Detroit.
So
And
good.
Michelle and I have been working with them to help them develop their promotional material and so forth. Um, Taziki's food is delicious, you
It's
people.
so
They're on Rochester Road in it's Rochester Hills actually, isn't it? It's like just north of Troy.
By a couple of 100 feet.
Right. So it's on Rochester Road, just south of South Boulevard.
Yes.
Um, if you know the big boy up there, don't go to the big boy.
No,
Go
don't go there.
almost to the big boy, but go to
Don't
Taziki's
go there.
because this food is so. And I know you're all like, well, you have to say that because they're your client. Oh no, 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 no. If it's food, it's not gonna be our client if we don't like it. And Jeff, we love what you guys do. So it's been a kick to work with you. And so thanks for doing this today.
Not a problem. My pleasure.
And there's a whole lot more to get to know. So you know what? We just need to dive into the
All right,
questions
let's get it
right
going.
now. Um, Jeff, of course, historically you're based in Louisville, and there are many, many Taziki's locations in Louisville. We're just getting our first one here. Um, how did you first become involved with Taziki's?
So I'll try to make the story as short as possible because it is a long one, by the way.
Okay.
Um, I was looking for something else. My career's started as an engineer. I worked for an oil company. I had a plastics distribution and recycling business, and I needed an exit strategy because I just needed to get out from under a bad partnership, to be honest with you. And I just started looking at any kind of, businesses that were kind of up and ready to roll. I wasn't looking to be a restaurateur. I was just an entrepreneur looking for a business. And the first foray I had at trying this was I got to know the founder of the Mellow Mushroom, which is this concept out of Atlanta. I don't know if y'all are familiar with it.
Mm-mm.
And he was a really cool guy. And I go, hey, man, I'd like to do this. Well, I couldn't get the Louisville market. He said, you can have St. Louis. Too far away to really launch something like that. So I had a good friend and I asked him, and he's a very successful restaurant franchisee. He has about 20 Jimmy John's and uh, 10 or 15 KFCs and that. And I asked him, I said, what do you think about this? He goes, don't do that. I said, well, I'm looking for something. He goes, well, there's a place that just opened in Chattanooga. That's where he was, called Taziki's. And I think it's amazing. And so that's how it all started. And we went online, and there was only 40 stores at the time, I think. And we've never been in the restaurant business. And we met the founder and we fell in love with each other. And then we went through a discovery process. And then we opened the first store here in Louisville. And it was the largest store opening still to date, I think. Um, and we weren't ready for it. They had to prop us up for over 2 months. We melted the kitchen down 15
Oh,
times.
no.
It's just crazy. We survived, but we did. And that was number one. And that store to this day is still one of the most successful stores we have.
Yeah, that's so interesting because coming from the other fields you mentioned, on the surface, running a restaurant seems so completely far afield from it. And yet, there's systems, there's budgets, there's marketing, there's personnel, all the kinds of things that you did learn when you did those other things. And then often there's some sort of a twist. And the twist with Taziki's, which is absolutely great if you're a customer, is there are no fryers, there are no microwaves. There isn't even I don't even think is there a free like a small freezer or no freezer at all?
There's a very small freezer that we put in because we had a very special dessert made for us. It was a
Okay.
baklava cheesecake, and it had to be
Okay.
kept frozen. So we did put in some smaller deep freezes for that. And it did help us with keeping shrimp and salmon frozen, which is much better to do it that way. We would have to time it to come in,
Yeah.
warm up in the walk-in. So we have a small freezer. I have to divulge
But
that.
but
Okay.
for the most part, everything's fresh.
Absolutely.
It's freshly prepared, it's prepared by hand. Oh my gosh, you guys have got to try this.
And we haven't even told people what type of food it is.
It's Mediterranean. It's in the name. It's
But still.
all right. I can go into more detail about that, I'm sure.
I mean, what did we say? It was the South meets Greece. It's Southern
Yeah.
It's
hospitality.
you're right. You're right. It's it's
Yes.
it's it's Mediterranean cuisine meets the American Deep South, and it's all brought to Metro Detroit.
Oh, and it's
It's
delicious.
so good.
It is good.
Oh,
I have to admit, it's good.
it's good.
Not just because I'm trying to sell food, it is good.
Mm-hmm.
No, I
Yeah.
mean, and anybody who knows me knows like I am not propping up bad food. This is
No.
good stuff.
Yeah, you're not. All right, Jeff, we know a lot about the Louisville store. But I'm curious, what are both the challenges and the benefits that you're seeing Taziki as it's brought to Michigan?
The biggest challenges of all, is nobody knows who we are and what kind of food we sell.
Mhm.
And that is just a challenge I think anybody would have going into the marketplace into it where nobody knows you. And it is so much harder, I think, than the average person can really realize. Like, we got to know you because we needed help with getting our messaging out. Uh, and we're not a national brand with national brand presence. So we don't have, TV commercials running across every marketplace. We're structured in that where the owner operators will have to do those kind of things. And, we don't pay as much of a royalty, but we have to put that money in ourselves to do it. So it's much harder on a small owner operator level to play in, let's say, broadcast media in Detroit, let's say, so people are seeing you on TV. And then my wife and I it's just us. This is our fourth unit up there. So, we do it all ourselves. So rather, we couldn't come in and open, say, 5 stores like, say, a Chipotle or some chain would do.
Mhm.
We had to come in and start with one and get the word out and start giving great service and great food. Listen, I thought when I went north of the Ohio River, everybody was a Yankee. They're pretty cool people up there. They're just like me up there, I got to tell you. And there's a lot of people that know us.
Mm.
As I'm in the store as much as I can, there are a lot of people that goes, I know you guys. One of the best stories was there was a family in about a month ago, and I asked him, I met him at the door and asked him if he'd been to Taziki. He says, I have. I said, well, where at? He goes, well, we're from Louisville.
Oh,
And so he was one of my customers in Louisville, and he was so happy to be there. So it
He
was,
must have been so excited to actually see one in this
yes,
area.
yes. And then we was very lucky to get our restaurant on interstate or M59. I don't know if you call that an interstate or not up there. It's M59,
It's a
right?
highway. It works. Yeah.
Looks like an interstate to me. So
Yeah.
we got our Taziki's logo on that exit there. Just very luckily that we got it. And so some people see it and goes, "Oh my God!" Then they'll come in and go, "Is this the real Taziki's, the one from down south, or not?" And so, I think the people up there are wonderful. The sense of community up in Rochester and Troy is just, it's the best I've seen. We don't have that kind of community down here in Louisville, unfortunately. So love the people.
No.
Our Taziki's people are up there. That's what we like.
Well,
Yeah.
welcome.
Yeah, for sure. Jeff, what is the thing you've done in your life that was most unlike what you're doing now?
Oh, let me think for a minute. Like career-wise, I would say um, I went to school to be a mechanical engineer in the Midwest, graduated University of Nebraska. I started my career in a refinery in Kansas City. And back then, there wasn't the technology we had today. So I worked in a refinery and I would do projects, and I was literally on a drafting board with a T square and a drafting pencil. And we would go make our own copies of the things we were drawing on a
Uh-huh.
big blueprint machine that used ammonia, and it would make your eyes water. And so that's how I cut my teeth, getting my first paycheck. And then the
So
first thing
are we
Lisa and I
talking
wanted
like
was a boat.
what,
We
like
went and
late
bought a boat.
70s, early 80s? Like what period of time are we talking about?
We're talking well, it's my age now, I guess. It's 1981 when I
Okay.
graduated.
Because I mean, yeah, that definitely did sound like sort of 1981 vintage
Absolutely.
technology. But the thing about it that is like it, as much as we say it's unlike, and I see that, but it does kind of remind me of the very by hand way that you guys prepare the food.
I guess that may be a bridge I'm trying to cross. I'm trying to see that, but yeah, I'll
Yeah.
agree with you,
Yeah.
man.
I'm not but the thing that one of the impressions that I get of you just having known you briefly is there's nothing you're afraid to try.
I agree with that.
That's the impression I get of you, Jeff.
Yeah, I that's just kind of in my nature. I like to learn things. If something's broken, the internet has been a blessing to me in that light,
Mhm.
okay?
Okay.
I've been on the internet 3 times a day how to learn how to fix something and where I get this part or so yeah, I like a challenge and I like mechanical things. I like figuring stuff out. That's really who my true core is, I guess. So,
I wouldn't have known that about you. All right, Jeff, if you were to go back in time and give yourself some business advice, what would it be?
I would say for me
Mm.
to get into being my own company or my own boss is quicker than I did.
Ooh.
Why do I say that? I was terrible at playing the corporate game.
Mhm.
I just spoke my mind. Okay. And very few of my bosses that I ever had liked that. Okay. so, so I didn't progress as fast as I wanted to.
Mhm.
And I just wasn't a brown noser. I just didn't like that. So being my own boss, having my own companies, having my wife as my business partner, I wish I could have done that sooner in my lifetime.
Now, you and Dan have that in common.
We yeah. Well, I was pretty young. I was 33 when I became my own boss. So yeah, because yeah, my bosses didn't like me either. So what could I do? At least the last one.
But the thing I did do was marry my soulmate when I was 21 and she was 19.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
45 years this year.
Amazing.
Jeff, can you tell us something that has caught your attention in Metro Detroit that you've really liked?
Yes. First of all, in Rochester, what a community. I mean,
Mhm.
the mayor there's, I just know him from my interaction with him.
Hmm.
Parks, the community, they're debt free. Um, and then before we even started looking at putting a store up there, I was the impression I think a lot of the country is that Metro Detroit is terrible. It's, Detroit itself, it's all torn up, crime. And when we first started going up there, we stayed downtown. I said, let's stay downtown. Now we stayed around the ballparks and stuff. Wow. I mean, probably as good as anywhere in the country. Fan base, we went to several hockey games already this winter, our first winter up there.
Cool.
So I think it's a fabulous community. Everything's there you want. Winters aren't so great. I'm not a huge fan of that, to be honest with you.
Nope.
I saw
We haven't
I
quite
saw
figured
some
out a way to
days
do
where it
something
was
about that, but
beautiful out, and then 2 o'clock it started snowing, and then by 5 you couldn't even get home.
Yep.
It was unreal. So not a fan of that.
it,
Roads aren't great. It looks like the road crews try hard.
did you say our roads are great?
I said they're not great.
Oh, okay, okay.
Oh. And the parks, you are so right. One of my best friend, my best friend knows all the parks all over Rochester, and you can just walk through someone's neighborhood and it opens up to a huge park. You would have had no idea that that was even over there.
Well, we know because we got an apartment because we would have dogs and we were getting in a hotel. So our apartment is hooked to Innovation Park in Rochester.
Oh, I love Innovation Park.
And so we just walk our dogs over there and we have our own little entrance.
Yeah.
If the people are too cheap to pay to park, they park over in our parking lot of the apartment there.
I love that. My favorite question, Jeff, what do you love most about your wife, Lisa?
Oh my gosh. Whew. Well, she's beautiful, number one. She she looks beautiful every day. She takes so much pride in her appearance and her health. It's amazing. She is the hardest working person I've ever met in my life. She's Our house is spotless. She takes care of the books with the business. She does all the hard stuff. When it comes to having hard conversations, we need to fire somebody. She just does it. She's the opposite of everything I need. And the proof of that is we've been together for 45 years and we're together 3 years before that. So 48 years together with her, and I'm 67. So I just love her to death. Now, do we have some spats here and there? Of course,
Who
right?
doesn't?
Right. But I am blessed with patience beyond, I would say I'm right there with Job. So
Oh,
Yeah.
she is so beautiful, and I love when I first met her, you're right. Just she looks fantastic. You could tell she's just put together.
yes,
I love her love for the community and her heart for service. I mean, you two really are an amazing
yeah.
team.
And one thing I didn't say is she's probably the biggest giver
Mm.
I've ever, sometimes I say, you did what? She has a heart for young kids battling disease. She does a lot of that here in Louisville. She's just a wonderful person. I'm just blessed to have been her husband this whole time.
Now, did you meet in school? Were
Yes,
you?
well, I met her. I met her. I knew her. We lived in a small town in Nebraska when my dad was transferred up there. And I run around with her older brother. He's a year older than me. We rode motorcycles. We were kind of the motorcycle guys there in high school.
You rode
And
motorcycles?
yeah, yeah. And I'm going to play in his member guest in a week and a half. I still love the guy. He's one of my best friends. And we went on a double date with my best friend and her friend and over Thanksgiving when I was freshman in college.
Mm.
She was junior in high school. And it was love at first sight. I just could never stop thinking about
You guys are so
These are
amazing.
great stories.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys are so great.
And
And
we definitely witnessed that energy between you when we were there with both of you too. So that's for real.
yeah. So if y'all have not met Jeff and Lisa, make sure that you go to Taziki's, get some great food, some great Southern hospitality. You will not be disappointed.
Yeah, it's on Rochester Road, north of South Boulevard, between South Boulevard and M59. On the I was get this wrong on the west side of Rochester Road. I promise you, the first time you go will not be the last time you go. And Jeff, thanks so much for the
Oh, my
opportunity to
pleasure.
be part of building this up here. We've really enjoyed it and getting to know you and Lisa as well.
Thank you guys. Appreciate it.
Thanks for
All
doing
right.
it.
All right, Jeff, thanks for being our guest. Michelle, thank you for co-hosting as always. And everyone, thank you for watching. Join us again next time for another edition of Six Questions with Dan and Michelle.